Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Advancement. Welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. And we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, man, we back at it again. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. So I want to give a shout out to one of our viewers here on Instagram. His name is... he sent me this message yesterday. His name is Randy Lull, right? Randy Lull. Shout out to Randy Lull, man. So Randy sends me this video today or yesterday, I don't know the exact time. And he goes, check out this video of Chris Broussard shutting down Nick Wright for trying to hate on Michael Jordan. And I'm like, so what happened now, right? So as you guys know, Max Kellerman recently was on a podcast with him and Rich Paul. We did a show about this where Max was saying that he believed that Michael Jordan could average a 40-point triple-double, and he was essentially making his case to Rich Paul, and Rich Paul was pushing back. So we want to play that for y'all just to give this video some context, because this is directly what they were talking about, and Nick Wright goes after some of the points that Max Kellerman was bringing up. So take a look at what Max Kellerman and Rich Paul argued about the other day, and we're going to come back and continue on. Take a listen to these guys here.
Michael Jordan in today's game would average a 40-point triple-double, Rich.
Now you're out of your mind.
I'll explain. Michael Jordan's usage rate was way ahead of everyone else's in his day. And today, the usage rate is even higher for the primary guy. His usage rate would be through the roof. It would dwarf Luka's or Harden's.
You know, sometimes
that's one.
Sometimes people say things, and here's the thing. MJ is my guy. Like,
I'll
like
prove
really,
it.
like really.
I got you.
That's like, we have a great relationship. And I never ask him these things when I'm around him because whatever. But I do believe sometimes people say things that he don't even believe.
I will demonstrate the case. You tell me where there's a flaw in the logic. The usage rate would be even higher than it used to be. Now, the way that guy is used nowadays is as the primary ball handler, right? They take what used to be a two guard and they make him or even a three, and they make him the point guard, basically. MJ spent 1 year of his career as a point guard. He averaged 32, 8, and 8. That's the first thing. And the usage rate is much higher now. But here's the next thing, Rich. People talk about MJ's outside shooting, right? Because he was a 33-ish% lifetime three-point shooter.
No, he was a born jump shooter. Why would you talk about his outside shooting? The three ball, or you just saying
I'm talking about
jump
the three
shot?
ball. The three ball. MJ,
he would perfect
three times in his career, shot at least 3 threes a game. Every time he shot at least 3 threes a game, meaning he had more reps doing it, he shot no less than 37%, almost 38% from three, okay? Meaning, nowadays, a player like MJ would shoot 8, 10, 12 threes a game, given his high usage. And the more he shot, the higher the percentage went, which is in form with how his jump shooting was, his free throw shooting. He could shoot. MJ would be no less than a 37%, maybe a 40% three-point shooter if he was focusing on that part of his game, and his own stats bear it out. His usage rate would be higher. What does 32, 8, and 8 turn into? What does 37, 5, and 6 turn into? Because he averaged it back then.
No, you're missing a major point. You're basing this as if people still consider the pecking order. These kids today, they're not bowing down to nobody. They're not just going to sit around and let you shoot every shot.
I mean, they do it for Luka and Harden.
No, they don't.
They did it for Harden.
No.
But,
No,
okay,
they don't.
are you
That's
telling
not-
me that Luka or Harden would average more points than MJ?
What I'm telling
They're in
you
the
is-
mid-30s.
What I'm telling you is, in today's NBA, guys are coming in and they're not caring as much as you think about who you are and what you did. Because in their mind, I'm the guy too. So I disagree with that. Now, could he average 40? Yeah.
How did
he?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you said a 40-point triple-double.
But, Rich, if he's at 32, 8, and 8 in that era, without shooting the three, what do you think he is today? You think he's not going to add 5, 8 points? And he had 37
you
points.
said a
He's at 35
40-point
points.
triple-double.
He would average. Over multiple seasons, he would average that.
Oh, my God.
And he would win the
I know
championship
you got your
while
shoes
doing
on,
it.
but this is ridiculous. And again, you're talking to the biggest fan. Listen, let me just tell you.
Harden came close to a 30 plus point triple-double. Do you know how much better in every area of the game MJ was than Harden? Harden doesn't do a single thing better than MJ.
Do you know I could recite every commercial that came on WGN? Because I never changed the channel.
I got you.
Okay, so this is, but why would you focus? This is a great question that I'm asking, and you go right to Michael Jordan, a guy that we know could do all things.
Okay.
Great. So you heard that, right? So I tuned into this clip on First Things First to see what these guys are talking about. And they were talking about like, Chris Broussard was talking about like the return of Jason Tatum and the pressure he could face and blah, 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 blah. And then somehow, some way, the conversation started to veer into what Max Kellerman said. And he began to discuss, Nick Wright now, discuss what Max was saying about Jordan averaging a 40-point triple-double. And then Nick Wright tries to go off and try to explain why that wouldn't happen. And in typical Nick Wright fashion, man, he gives some kind of obtuse arguments. But luckily, Chris Broussard was on the set, and he was there to catch him and absolutely shut his ass down. So take a listen to this exchange here. It's really, really entertaining. I want you guys to listen to it in its entirety. We're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to these guys here.
There are very few instances of a guy his caliber, missing, coming back for his first game this late in the year, and then they go on to win a championship.
I mean, I'm trying. Are there any?
I actually just read something about this. I wish I had written them down. There are a few instances across all of sports.
When did Jordan come back?
Say it again.
When did Jordan come back?
He came back late. It was like 18 games of.
But they didn't win.
No, I know. That's what.
Oh,
we talking about?
It was like 18 games
I'm talking about guys who have missed this much and winning. You've got a handful in the history of sports, but they've got a real shot at it.
Time now for the Sports Media Ombudsman as I think of guys who came back late, right before the playoffs, and won.
It's funny you guys mentioned Michael Jordan because he comes up in this one. And
for a three-peat, you gonna congratulate him?
Well, yes, I would like to congratulate NASCAR owner Michael Jordan in 2311 because many are saying him being on the most to lose list for the Daytona 500 is what really kicked them into gear, no pun intended.
Fair.
But that's not where I'm going with this. And I also, before I even go, would like to say this. I know that at times I poke fun at Michael Jordan because somebody has to. He's a god amongst sports media, amongst sports fans.
Sure.
And he is obviously, arguably, the greatest basketball player of all time, and inarguably one of the most iconic athletes of all time. All of that can stand on its own without needing to denigrate current athletes or kind of other athletes of his era, which brings me to today's Sports Media Ombudsman and two of my favorite people in sports media, Rich Paul and Max Kellerman, and their new podcast, Game Over. Rich, I've known, kind of pseudo work with. Max, I kind of interned for on a radio station 20-some years ago at ESPN Radio in New York City. I interned for Michael K's show. Max's show was on after. He was always so nice. And I think he is one of the sharpest people in sports media. And one of the reasons I think he's so sharp is because, not only because he argues a lot like I do, and it's really a compliment to myself, but because he usually takes every position to its furthest logical conclusion and kind of thinks about the rebuttals. I don't think he did that when he said yesterday or the day before, Michael Jordan would average a 40-point triple-double in today's game. And you hear that occasionally. And I don't want to focus on the triple-double part. I want to focus on the 40-point part because it's so outrageous. Because I know Brew. I
think he could.
So
not for a career.
Here's why I find it ridiculous.
Okay.
You cannot apply that era inflation to only Michael, and you cannot apply that era deflation to none of today's players. Here's what I mean. Michael Jordan averaged 30 a game for his career. So 30 a lot of seasons.
Are you saying for his career? I don't think for his career.
Well, so just follow me on for a season he averaged 37 once. So if you're saying one season, I don't think that's what Max was saying. Because I agree that the year he averaged 37. If he averaged 37, he averaged 40. But the 30 a game turning into 40 a game is a 33% premium. Which, if we apply then to other guys so Dominique Wilkins, if he played today, would be 36 a game. because he was 27 a game for his career. And what about the big-time scorers today? Are we cutting their scoring by 33% if they played back in that era? So LeBron and Kevin Durant, who averaged 27 a game, they're not down to 18 a game, which is Jamal Mashburn. Well, no, obviously not. Carmelo Anthony, he's all of a sudden Hornets Del Curry. He's 15 a game. No.
I don't think anyone's.
That is my exact point. Of course nobody's saying that. But then then the argument falls apart. If what you're saying is that it is so much easier to score today than it was then.
Do you think it is?
I do think it is easier to score today, but not enough to where you're going to go from a 30-point per game for your career to 40.
I would be shocked if he's saying that for a career.
Well,
I think he's probably saying a few seasons. Like, I think he could average 40 a few seasons in today's. It is half of the, well, not half for him, but so many more of the shots he took would be worth 3 points versus 2. What? He would be because he'd be shooting more threes. He'd be just like LeBron, had he played in Jordan's era, would have been a better post player because you had to. That could be a strength that he's never really utilized. Jordan would shoot more threes in adjusting to the type of game, and he would score more points just for that reason alone, let alone it's so much easier to get to the rim. They give you the mid-range shot.
So I wasn't
he
trying
could for a few seasons.
I wasn't, we don't have to spend a ton of time on this. I reject the notion that Michael Jordan was, when the line wasn't moved in, a bad three-point shooter because he didn't want to be good at it. I would if
he said he didn't want to be. I mean, you could believe it or not.
I know he said it. He in the years the line was where it is now, he was 29%. He shot for the era, a little above more. He shot more often than the average player. He shot 1,800 for his career. About 600 of those were in the years when the line was
average
moved
per
in.
game.
For his entire career, which is again above average for the time.
But they didn't shoot it back then.
I understand, but
even the great ones didn't shoot it.
Right, but the
great
it is common wisdom, conventional wisdom, that if Michael Jordan wanted to be good at three-point shooting, he would have been. And my, I guess, controversial take is I think Michael Jordan wanted to be good at everything, and this was the one thing he just wasn't good at. And the only years he was good at it was when the line was moved.
You really think if Michael Jordan played today, he would not have been a better three-point shooter than back then?
No. I didn't say he wouldn't be incrementally better. But I do not think that a guy who played 15 years in this league, only shot a high number of threes when the line was moved in. Right. And the other years, it shot 29%, and I'm rounding up for his career, would not all of a sudden be a good three-point shooter. I don't think that.
LeBron went from being a bad mid-range and three-point shooter to being a good three-point shooter.
Correct. He got better at it.
Because he worked on it.
Right. And
I don't think Jordan really worked on the three. And I'm not even trying to make it a Jordan LeBron. I'm just saying LeBron has never really fully established himself as a great post player.
Sure.
I believe had he played in the 80s and 90s where that was more part of the game, he would have been killing people when he wanted to down, just like Jordan and Kobe did.
But I'm
just giving him that. Just like I'm shocked you think, and I'm not saying Jordan would be like Steph Curry. I'm just saying I think would have been an adequate three-point shooter where it was a part of his game.
The LeBron post play thing, we saw a season or two where he focused on it and was good, a good post player.
Never done
but it was never high volume. Yeah. We don't have a single season of evidence at the regulation three-point line where Jordan was good at it. So I don't think it was by choice. I think it's
choice that you don't work on it a lot.
Allen
Houston was a phenomenal three-point shooter and shot less than 5 a game for his career.
Right.
But they didn't do that as much.
But the argument against Jordan's three-point shooting is not a lack of volume; it's the percentage. And so we can disagree on it. I think that's saying, if Max was saying just for a year, so be it.
Yeah, I can't.
But it is if it's that easy to score in today's game, then what we're saying is Durant would struggle in the 90s, and I don't buy that.
You got 37, 38, 40-year-olds dropping 25 a game, 27 a game today.
Great. So you heard what they had to say. Let's get into it. Let's listen to what Nick Wright was saying. No, let's first address what Max Kellerman was saying, which is something we've done. We've done shows on this already, okay? So Max isn't breaking any news here or breaking new ground here. If you look at the season in which Jordan averaged 37 a game, 37.1, MJ attempted 66 threes and made 12 that year. The guy averaged 37, 3 points shy of 40, and only made 12 three-pointers. 12 three-pointers, and only attempted 66. 12 three-pointers, which means he made a three every 20 games, or 3 threes every 20 games, something like that. Cuckoo stuff, right? Just insane stuff. And he was still able to average that many points. But Nick Wright was trying to attack Michael Jordan's three-point shooting percentage. And then Chris Broussard brought up the data. And Max Kellerman did as well. When Jordan attempted over 3 threes a game, his shooting percentage in terms of threes went up. So Nick Wright was saying that he doesn't believe that Jordan will be able to excel at shooting the three today, even though the evidence refutes the point that he's making, because we already have the evidence from what Max Kellerman said. When you increase his attempts, his shooting percentage from beyond the arc goes up. So I don't understand what point Nick Wright is making here. Number one. Number two, Nick wasn't adjusting for the pace of the game today. There are more possessions. Number one. Number two, there aren't any bigs to clog up the paint. There's freedom of movement, so you can't hit guys and check them with their elbows as they, slicing through the paint. You don't do all of those things, so the physicality isn't there. And I think Michael Jordan would run over this league. He would run over the league. I think the reason you're hearing this pushback from Nick is that it by agreeing with him, it creates too much of a gap between Jordan and everyone else that's ever played basketball, including LeBron James. That's what I think Nick is fighting against. Because if he were to say, yeah, I think Max Kellerman is correct, then why are we in awe of LeBron, or for that matter, anybody? Why are we in awe of Anthony Edwards? Why are we in awe of any of these guys? When you have a guy that can do something that doesn't seem like what a human being should be able to do on a basketball court. That's the reason for the pushback. But I don't think Nick Wright and these guys had the argument on their side to support whatever point it is that they were trying to make. Now, this is just my take on it. What I want to know from the audience is, where do you stand on this issue? Are you with Nick? Are you with me, Chris Broussard, Max Kellerman, whatever you guys feel? Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.